who we found. He's our afternoon delight, Mr. Andrew Lessman. Not quite. Happy 22nd here at HSN.
I look pretty youthful for 22 years.
You look amazing.
Yes,
I always say that portrait of Dorian Gray is somewhere. Yes. Well, Andrew Lessman, of course, our star of the day, and something that you and I wait for once a year and once a year only, but you have outdone yourself. Because if you've heard Andrew, quite often we used to say, Andrew, if I was only going to take one thing, what would it be? And at the top of the list would be one of your top products of all time.
And well, I say not just at the top of the list, without question. And I've always said this about CoQ10. I've said it since we first introduced CoQ10 34 years ago. There's no company, probably no individual with more experience in terms of making dietary supplements, nutritional supplements with CoQ10 other than me. That sounds like a sort of a prideful statement, but 34 years of making this product, 39 years of making supplements, that's a little bit of experience doing this. And with our CoQ10, the reason why, it's not just sort of arguably that you could kind of put forth the proposition that this supplement is so important. The reason why is when you're getting my CoQ10, you're not just getting CoQ10. And as important as CoQ10 is, and I could tell you why in a few moments, why it is so important to the very existence of all our cells, the energy that allows us to all live. But what makes it so important, this product, is if you look at the three other vitamins, the three other essential nutrients that most of us will find we're deficient or insufficient in, that most of us supplement separately, so we're investing money already, you get all of them with this product. So when you're getting this product, you have a choice of 1,000 or 2,000 IU vitamin D3, or you could get no vitamin D3. But you get a full B complex with our special B12, and there's no B12 like our B12 anywhere in the world. In addition to that, you get the equivalent of a separate vitamin C. So you get vitamin C, full B complex, B12, a stress B complex, energy B complex, often referred to as what's necessary for fat burning, energy metabolism. So you get all of that. Our special B12, B12 is one of the most deficient or insufficient nutrients in the American diet. Certainly vitamin D is well established as being deficient or insufficient in virtually the entire population. And you get your vitamin C. So even, I had shown a chart that, I'm surprised we didn't do this years ago, but if you simply look at the vitamin C, the vitamin D, and the vitamin B12 in this product, not even the CoQ10, if you simply look at the value of those nutrients, it would, oh, and that's the chart.
There it is.
You would spend more.
You would.
And CoQ10, mind you, CoQ10 is among the most expensive for decades, the most expensive ingredient you're going to find. So if you were just getting the vitamin D, the vitamin B12, and mind you, that's looking at 600 capsules of 2,000 IU vitamin D3,
right.
600 capsules of our B12, 100 micrograms of B12, and 600 capsules of 300 milligrams vitamin C, non-acidic vitamin C.
Right.
You'd be at $291 plus shipping. So again, and that doesn't include the CoQ10.
Right.
And then to look at this another way, as I said before, I know I age myself. I might have only been here for 22 years. It's not my 22nd. I wish it was my 22nd birthday, but it's not. I've been at HSN for 22 years. I started at QVC. In January, it'll be 28 years.
Wow.
So, and I've been making vitamins now for 39 years. It was 39 last month in September, 39 years. So a great deal of experience doing this. If we look back at the price of CoQ10, and normally when you look back in time, things will be more expensive, well, less expensive rather. So normally when you look back over time, things become more expensive. A card today is going to be multiple times more expensive than it was, say, in the 1980s. Probably 2-3 times more expensive. If you look at CoQ10, our CoQ10 today is about 90% less expensive. You're literally paying 10 cents on the dollar to get the same amount of CoQ10. It's one of those wonderful examples of an ingredient that has gone down in price, gone down in cost. But of course, that's if you avoid buying ubiquinol. Ubiquinol is still just CoQ10. Ubiquinol is the form of CoQ10 that was the hedge by the CoQ10 companies against the reduced cost. What I mean by that is when costs started going down on CoQ10, they found a way to charge more for CoQ10, and that's called ubiquinol. Most of the science usually most means what, 51%? When it comes to CoQ10, most of the science is on the ingredient you see here. 95, probably 98, maybe 99% of the research is on ubiquinone, the form you see here. So why spend more, 5 times more, 6 times more, for another form of the same ingredient when the science doesn't say that investment is worth it? And that's why, rather than doing what most retailers have done, what most companies have done, because they get to sell something for 5 times more, I'd rather you spend 5 times less or 1/5 as much and enjoy the benefits of CoQ10. And if you want to look at reviews, my CoQ10, probably the most heavily reviewed and the best reviewed CoQ10 in the world.
Absolutely, with close to 4,000 reviews, the predominant portion of those are perfect 4 and 5 star. By the way, this is what Andrew was alluding to. So even if we compare it with less milligrams, because when it was first introduced or when he first started offering it here at HSN, it was 30 milligram versus the 200 milligram, but this will give you an idea of what you could have expected to pay. But I'm kind of putting the cart before the horse. So let me just back up here. Of course, this is Andrew's world famous, elite, world-class CoQ10. It's a day that you and I wait for when we talk about energy that is fundamental for every cell. Your cells can't be alive without it. There is no finer CoQ10 in the world other than Andrew's. So what we're talking about is not only his best price of the year, but as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, the bonuses or the extras, if you were just buying on that 600 count size, the vitamin D, vitamin B, and vitamin C, you would be spending more than $100 more than our today's special price. So all we ask you to do is you can actually buy your CoQ10 on its own, but of course you still get the B and the C, or you can get your CoQ with the addition of the vitamin D in the 1000 IU or the 2000 IU with absolutely no additional cost. And obviously that's what most of us are doing. And then of course you pick your bottle count size. This, by the way, that 600 count size is something that you only do as a today's special, which is nice to see.
Normally the 200 milligrams, because it's an expensive ingredient, normally the 200 milligrams, the largest size is 240 capsules. So when we go to 600 capsules, basically I don't think it's much more than the normal price for the 240. In fact, if we look here on that pricing chart that Shannon had, the 600 capsules, you basically have to go down to 200 capsules and they get pretty close. So the price today at $169 for 600 is pretty close to the normal price of $149 for 200 capsules. So you're basically getting not buy one, get one free, you're really getting buy one, get 2 free. So this is the power of when we look at the counter on the screen. I'm not sure what it is, but I know it's a big counter. If you do the math, because most of these are the 600 capsule supply, we'll make tens of millions of capsules for this. The CoQ10 that we use for this today's special makes us one of the largest consumers of CoQ10 in the world. That's the pricing that everyone gets to enjoy for this special event. And what I want to show everyone, despite the fact, or because we don't use additives, despite the fact that this product is like a separate vitamin C, a separate B complex, a separate B12, a separate vitamin D, and of course your CoQ10, it's still a small capsule. If you look at that, it's still a small capsule. And it's a tiny little capsule. I'll open that capsule. And what you'll see is the beauty of our natural CoQ10. If your CoQ10 is not a bright yellow color, then it's not ubiquinone. It's not CoQ10. That's the natural color. Folks, 2 questions I'm frequently asked about this product. First of all, when I do my Today Special, because it's so affordable, did I somehow change the CoQ10? No, I did not. Also, I'm asked, because it's such a bright yellow color, most of us are conditioned that if it's a bright yellow color, someone's using colorings. There's no colorings. That's because I think people think they caught me finally that I'm using an artificial color. No, that bright fluorescent yellow is the natural color of CoQ10.
That's amazing.
And again, we add to it, and if we see on this chart right here, if you go to a store, I see the most popular separate supplements. You'll see full B complex as being incredibly popular, full B12, a B12 with B complex, and of course, my B12 is unlike any B12 you're going to find in a supplement in your supermarket, in your pharmacy, in your discount store. Cyanocobalamin is the most common form of B12. Your body liberates small amounts of cyanide
Okay. Ooh.
when it metabolizes it. So we have a special form, natural coenzyme B12, methylcobalamin. We protect it from stomach acid so it actually can be absorbed. Then you get your full B complex, you get a separate vitamin C, you get your choice of 0, 1,000, or 2,000 IU. So we've made 3 different versions of this product. For those of you who want no vitamin D, for those of you who want 1,000, and for those of you who want 2,000. Your choice. We've made 3 different forms of this product. And of course, your natural CoQ10, which old rule of thumb was CoQ10 would sell for a little bit more than a penny a milligram.
Okay.
Which would mean that normally a 200 milligram capsule of CoQ10 on its own would be a little more than $2, would be a few dollars
Right.
a capsule. Today, it's a little bit more than a quarter, 25 cents. So again, that's that 90% discount I was talking about. One of the more common questions, and I'm sorry if I repeat the answers to these questions, but not everyone watches, every show, and people tune in and tune out, and I want to make sure the questions that are most frequently asked are the questions I respond to. Why can't I get CoQ10 from my diet? It's a natural ingredient. I should be able to get CoQ10 from my diet. The fact is, and this is actually an even better chart here, and we'll go to the other one. These are the best sources of CoQ10 that are available in the human diet. And if you start off, which not only should this chart inform that it's basically impossible to get significant levels of CoQ10 in our diet, not basically impossible, you just don't get significant levels, but it also informs why CoQ10 is so important. Look where the highest levels of CoQ10 are found, in the heart of a pig or a chicken. The same thing would be in a cow. In the liver, again, here we go, in the heart of a cow, beef and beef liver. So we see the highest levels of CoQ10 in the organs that must and cannot ever stop working. The hardest working organs in our body, without question, our heart, our liver, followed by our brain. Those are the highest levels, and most of us are not eating heart, liver, or brain every day. Next highest levels. The organs in our body, the structures in our body that have the requirement for the most energy to do work for us, to keep us active, keep us alive, are muscles. Because what is shoulder? What is thigh? Those are all muscles. Even tuna. You'd have to consume 28.5 pounds of tuna to equal the CoQ10 in this product. You'd have to consume, of the best source, chicken heart or pork heart, you'd have to consume several pounds every single day to get the CoQ10 that's present in this product. So practically speaking, if you then look at normal portions of normal foods, say pork shoulder, beef shoulder, chicken thigh, canned tuna, chicken breast, chicken wing, so the normal foods we might eat that are great sources of CoQ10, great sources, you consume a quarter pound of them at every single meal, and you're basically going to be getting just a few milligrams of CoQ10 every single day. Salmon is probably the fish I eat most frequently. I get less than 1 milligram and a quarter pound of salmon. Milk, a great protein source. Milk, in an 8-ounce glass of milk, a cup of milk, you're getting less than half a milligram of CoQ10. So unfortunately, we don't really have dietary sources of CoQ10. We principally rely on our body to make CoQ10. And CoQ10, by its very name, in our body, when a vitamin goes to work, it kind of changes its name and changes its role. It goes into what's called a coenzyme function. A good example is something like riboflavin, vitamin B2, which as a coenzyme, if I'm correctly remembering, as a coenzyme, it becomes FAD, which is flavin adenine dinucleotide. So it basically kind of changes its name and changes its role. Coenzyme Q10, it already is in its role as that essential component that works with an enzyme to do critical work in our body. There's no more critical work in our body than producing energy, because energy is the only way we exist as a living thing. The fact that we are these organisms, or our cats or dogs, whatever it might be, that we are these organisms that has a blueprint that drives us to produce our own energy. Of course, we have to take in fuel to do that, but to produce our own energy, and that energy is the only thing that maintains us being alive. When we think about our heart working, what is our heart doing? It's circulating blood, it's circulating in that blood nutrients and oxygen, carrying away waste products and CO2 that then go back to, say, our liver, the waste products to be processed, or say to our kidneys, or going back to our lungs to be reoxygenated. The blood that comes back to our heart is then pumped back to our lungs, back to our heart, back to our body. But what is that all about? That's all about producing energy. That oxygen is for us to be able to burn fuel. And the byproduct of the burning of that fuel is the energy, the transfer of electrons that we all experience. So energy is at the very core of our existence. We lack energy, our existence doesn't function as well. Our organs don't function as well. Our heart, for example, the levels of CoQ10 available in our heart is about half of what they are at age 80 that they were when we're age 30 or 35. That's not a small drop, that's an enormous drop. In my body, I would hope that I could maintain as close to youthful levels as possible, because the ability to produce energy is the ability to function well, to maintain our youthful vitality, to maintain our brain, our heart, our liver in the state that is supporting us in terms of the quality of our life.
Absolutely. It's essential to good health. And remember, not all CoQ10 is created alike. And as Andrew just indicated in that chart, even with the best intentions, you will not be able, even with a great diet, and let's be honest, most of us aren't good most of the time, you can't create the optimum levels that he's doing for you for the best price. So let me just break down your choices again. I apologize. It's so easy to get caught up in the science. Sometimes I forget to do just the particulars. You choose the 50 capsule size instead of the $44.90 price that you will be paying after midnight. You're saving $17, making it $27.90. The 100 cap size after midnight, it's going to be about $85. It's $47.90 today with 2-pay flex pay. Oh, by the way, everything extended holiday return policy.
Which, by the way, without exception, all of those prices, if you were just buying the vitamin C, vitamin D, and the B12 in their respective sizes. So that's the large size. But even on the smallest size, the smallest size, it would still be more expensive to buy those 3 ingredients separately. As you can see right there, the smallest size, you'd still be at $33.79. Mind you, that doesn't consider the CoQ10.
Right.
And the
so
CoQ10
the CoQ10 is free.
Is by far the most expensive ingredient. So
crazy.
And back to where we started, when a lot of folks would say, and I certainly would agree, that CoQ10, certainly as we age, as we go through our 30s and 40s and 50s, and the medicines we take and the way we live and the way we eat, CoQ10 becomes among the most important, and I'll call it sort of a vitamin, a quasi-vitamin, the most important ingredient we could contemplate supplementing. But if someone might argue that point and say, no, looking at the population, 80 to 100% of Americans are deficient or insufficient in vitamin D. Vitamin D is more important. No, looking at our population, the inability to get vitamin B12 from our diet, our inability to absorb it adequately, vitamin B12 is really the most important to supplement. Then others might say, going back to Linus Pauling's old line of thinking, as much as we've grown a little bit blasé about it, vitamin C is still the most important protective compound. We don't get it adequately. So no matter what your argue there, no matter what your argument might be for one of those ingredients, you get them all today. So that is why, not arguably, but absolutely, this is the most important product I make, because it's giving you that CoQ10 that I would argue is central to our very existence, because it's central to all energy production. But then you get your vitamin D, which current research, or B12, which current research indicates is deficient or insufficient in so many of us. So, and the reason why I give you those other components is not to make this the most important single supplement to take, but because I want the CoQ10, which CoQ10 is the big investment. As much as the separate ingredients justify the investment, CoQ10 is what we're investing in here. And if we want CoQ10 to work its best, as important as it is, it doesn't deliver those benefits entirely on its own. Life is that way. No matter how much we think we do everything on our own, we always get a nudge or a push from someone else or somewhere else. So CoQ10 is the same thing. It is arguably the most important ingredient, but it can't do what it does. It can't deliver it as well without those other ingredients. And that's why my product, if you look at the reviews, and I love the reviews because they're objective. We don't change them. We don't edit them. We don't remove the bad ones. We don't change the language at all. So if you look at those reviews, close to, I think, 95, 96% are positive. Almost 90% are 5-star reviews. So that speaks volumes, and I'll try. I didn't read any last night. I'll try to read some reviews today.
Absolutely. To Andrew's point, 3,884 reviews. Of that, 3,255 are perfect 5-star. And then we've got another almost 330 4-stars. So to your point, almost every single review is either a 4 or a 5-star review.
If you will take the 4 and 5-star reviews out of those, I guess 3,800.
Right, 3,800.
Over 3,600 are 4 and 5-star reviews.
Right.
So you're just with 4 and 5-star reviews. I think you're already at close to 95% of the reviews, and that's a remarkable statement. And I think probably it seems so remarkable. That's why, again, one of the most common questions I'm asked is, do you pull out the bad reviews?
Right.
Do you hide the bad reviews? And one of the hallmarks of the reviews here at HSN, and we do the same thing by me, is we don't touch them at all.
No.
And even if someone used bad language, we'll try to keep the review up there. We'll just take out that nasty 4-letter word or something like that, because folks have used them in a positive way, where they use it as sort of, what would you say, an adjective or an adverb for emphasis. But no, the reviews are all there in all their glory. So we don't touch them. And the reason why we don't want to touch them is we truly want the reviews to serve their purpose. And again, as long as I labor so hard to make exceptional products, and we talked about this last night, that if I make a product that doesn't get bad reviews, it's not an accident you don't see that product, because I figure I did a bad job. I need to go back to the drawing board until I can make a product that gets great reviews. My meal replacements were a perfect example of that. I kind of failed miserably. I thought I did well, but I failed miserably for decades, and they were badly reviewed products until the last, say, 10 years, where we invested just as much in flavor as we did the ingredients to help you lose weight, and then they finally got great reviews. But we're human. We don't make perfect products all the time, but when we do, and when you tell us we do, we stick with it, and we make sure the only things we do is continue to make that product and the things that you enjoy in that product.
For sure. Well, decidedly, the more you know, the more you're going to be compelled to take this product. I promised, Vince is one of my Facebook friends. He has visual acuity issues, so I promised I'd read the item number and the prices to make that helpful. So I'll do that real quickly for everyone. 085039 is your item number. Your 50-count size, $17 off, making it $27.90. Your 100 cap size, it's almost $40 off, making it $47.90 with 2 pay flex pay. 200 cap size, $65 off at almost $85. That's a 3 pay flex pay. 400 count size, $130 off today at $139.90. And then our 600 count size, which again, Andrew does only for today, $230 off at $169.90. That's on 5 flexible payments. Everything has our extended holiday return policy. Andrew's absolutely correct, of course, as always. But after the stroke of midnight, as an example, that 200 count size, the price will be around $150. That's almost matched. It's on par and on pace, almost the same price as our 600 count size today. And in case you missed it, we'll do this a couple of different ways. Remember, when we kind of started the presentations, we were saying, as we are wont to do, the vitamin D, pays for the purchase, or the vitamin D3 is free. It's actually all of these bonuses or extras that would cost you more than the price of admission. So that makes the CoQ10, of course, the star of the show, free. And that's the case whether you're going on the largest size or whether you're going on the smallest size. That's true throughout. I mean, it's incredible.
And even to think on the large size, that CoQ10, that you're getting 600 capsules for less than 30 cents a capsule, for a little bit more than 25 cents a capsule. And even on the 400 capsule supply, it's a little bit more than 30 cents a capsule, which again, the separate additional ingredients, beneficial ingredients, would justify that investment. And to think of historically how expensive CoQ10 is and how much benefit you get at such a reasonable price. And what's great about today, and it's one of the benefits of, for the last probably at least 15 years, our CoQ10 Today special has been in October. Why I like it in October is because the money-back guarantee for holiday shopping and the like, the money-back guarantee, even though this is a gift, say, for yourself, you get to take advantage of that holiday shopping guarantee, so it goes all the way until January 31st. For those of you who are reordering the large bottle, it doesn't matter. But for someone who's thinking of trying it in whatever size you might try, you have an opportunity, and you can try the large size, you have an opportunity to enjoy the benefits until January 31st. If you don't feel as though you're enjoying them, it was on me, send it back. So you got to enjoy the health benefits, whether you feel like you're enjoying it or not, whether you realize it or not. All of the ingredients in this product are essential nutrients that your body requires. Again, I don't make drugs, I don't make medicines. What I make are products that the science has clearly shown are essential nutrients. We'll talk about omega-3s in a moment here. That's 2/3 of the dry weight of our brain. That's the most concentrated ingredient in the retina of our eye. So I make products and ingredients that are inescapably essential to our good health and unavoidably unavailable in our diet, unfortunately. I was just going to read some reviews. I haven't done that at all, so I just grabbed some from the middle of the stack. I think we have about 300 or 400 reviews here, and this is, I think this was like number 168. I just went to the middle. So the proof is in your blood test results, which, by the way, you could even get blood test results on CoQ10. And folks who are taking statin drugs or blood pressure drugs, antidepressants, you should really know your CoQ10 level, because those medications affect your production of CoQ10 in the body. So the proof is in your blood test results. Since taking this supplement for 6 months, my blood tests tell me this is an excellent product. I also have more energy than I've had in a long time. It really does provide energy support, and that is challenged by heart medications I'm on. What a difference. The only way you will know for sure how this will impact your life is to try it. Money back guaranteed till the end of January. Then compare your blood work results. The numbers don't lie. It actually works. I'm really surprised. Thank you for making this product, Andrew.
That's funny.
I'm a skeptic, like we all have become in this day and age. So it's nice to be able to see results.
Yes.
Always great. Thanks, Andrew, for combining the best way possible for us to get the great benefits of CoQ10 and the benefits of other essential vitamins, all in one easy-to-swallow capsule. I'm in better health now than I have been in the past. Not only can I feel it, but my doctor has advised me to keep up with my vitamins. He has noticed the difference too. I also take your omega-3 with no harsh reactions at all. You've changed my life for the better. Keep up the great work. Kudos to all.
Nice.
From Kenny.
That's very nice.
Perfect companion to statin medications. Again, if you take cholesterol-lowering statin drugs, those cholesterol-lowering statin drugs lower your CoQ10 levels. Inescapable. You have less CoQ10 available to produce energy, to optimize heart, brain, liver function. That's why one of the most common side effects to statin meds is fatigue, muscle tenderness, muscle soreness. So again, it should be a standard recommendation if you're taking many different medications, absolutely statin medications, that you must take CoQ10. Please talk to your doctor about that. After I started taking a new statin medication, I felt very fatigued. So I went to my doctor, and he strongly recommended, very good doctor, that I started using CoQ10. That doctor obviously knew that statin drugs lower CoQ10 levels. I started using CoQ10 on November 23rd, and within a week, my fatigue was gone. I am feeling just great. Thank you, Andrew, for such a wonderful product, from Judy in New York. Do not run out of this product. This product does exactly what Andrew says. It works. If there were only one product I could have, it would be this one. Thank you, Andrew. Buy this product now. It's like, are these folks writing?
Exactly.
It's like advertising copy. I've been buying many of Andrew's products for years. In 1999, I went to a cardiologist for a possible problem, wasn't one, who told me to start taking CoQ10 for cell protection, cardiac and mitochondrial protection. Now, that's a great doctor saying that in 99, 19 years ago. I did begin, and we were one of the few companies that had it readily available at that time. I did begin and have taken it almost continuously. My parents are, that's great genes, 91 and 93. And I buy it for them who take it almost every day. I've researched CoQ10, and it is depleted when cholesterol-lowering meds are taken. Absolutely. Almost everyone should probably be taking this. Plus, this product has nothing we don't need. 100% pure, no additives at all. Just the good stuff. Thank you, Andrew.
Andrew, I hate to digress, but since that review mentioned the year, just as...
In 1999.
Right, so this is from 2000. If this kind of puts it in perspective.
It was even more expensive in 99, but so what's great is that person buying the product in 99
right.
for the same amount of CoQ10 today
right.
in that 600 supply would have been spending. That's how expensive, crazy expensive CoQ10 used to be. So today, what was well over $1,500 today has come down to $169.
Was that with the vitamin D?
No vitamin D.
Oh, and that was without the vitamin D,
And it had less
too.
B12 and it had less vitamin C.
Wow.
So it's a superior product today
Holy
in so many
moly.
ways.
Okay.
And unfortunately, what's happened is the CoQ10 companies and the vitamin companies saw a tremendous amount of revenue evaporate overnight. So when the cost of CoQ10, look at what we're doing here, it's 90% less than it was, say, 20 plus years ago. So how have they responded? Well, there's another ingredient you'll often see called ubiquinol. Ubiquinol is at least 5 times more expensive than CoQ10. So what ends up happening is those companies responded by inventing a different form of CoQ10 that costs much more. I have that form available. I'm choosing to make it in the future. We're going to let it go away because it just is not worth the investment in my mind. You should spend less and get more. You don't need to spend more based upon research that doesn't exist. When you look at the research on ubiquinone, ubiquinol, CoQ10, on those 2 forms, and I should probably do a little research on this, but I would safely say 95% of the research is on ubiquinone. And in our body, CoQ10 exists in both forms. It gets cycled between the 2 forms. When you take that other more expensive form, it eventually gets converted to the other form in your body, the less expensive form. So the less expensive form is the better researched form. It's a form that already exists naturally in our body. So I'd rather see you invest less and get much more for that investment, and that's what we're doing today.
Absolutely. I mean, when you consider that basically the additional, the mini multivitamin increments of the vitamin D, the vitamin B, the vitamin C, they pay for the purchase, making your CoQ10 free. And that's on any of the sizes. And then I promise we'll break down the different bottle count size and your flex pays. But just as a friendly reminder, the additional pieces, the vitamin D, vitamin B, vitamin C, on the largest size. Now again, you could pick any one of the sizes. It would cost you more to buy those than it would your entire today's special today. That holds true whether you're talking about the 100, the 200, the 400, or the 600. Even on that 50 count, if you're interested in trying this for the first time, since we do have that extended holiday return policy, even on the smallest size, that introductory size of 50 caps, you'd be looking at almost $34 versus your $27.90 price today. So remember, you just choose. Now you're welcome if you're getting your vitamin D in other ways. Remember, you can choose your CoQ without the addition of the vitamin D. Everybody gets the B and the C. That's already there for you. Or you can choose your CoQ10 with 1,000 IU vitamin D for no extra cost, or 2,000 vitamin D at IU for no additional cost.
I have some great questions here that I guess from Facebook Live.
Perfect.
We're getting some questions. First questions, Carol Matea asked, what is the benefit of getting the higher level of vitamin D? Well, higher level of vitamin D, what I say typically, we want to get at least 1,000 IU of vitamin D daily as a supplement. Personally, I take about 4,000 to 5,000 IU to get the appropriate blood level, which typically we want to find ourselves somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000 IU. The best way to hone in that level is a simple vitamin D test at your doctor, which I believe we should all do. If we're overweight, or if we're obese, we're going to need to take higher levels of vitamin D because that gets sequestered. That's another one of the consequences of being overweight or obese, that it sequesters, it traps our vitamin D, and thus we have less circulating available levels of vitamin D, so we'll need to take a little more vitamin D. So again, the answer is, and the next question said from Pam Crabtree asked if I take Essential 1 with 2,000 IU of vitamin D, should I get the CoQ10 with 2,000 or will I be taking too much? That's exactly what I take. That's the 4,000 that I get. So I get the 2,000 from my multivitamin. I get 2,000 with my CoQ10. I'm at 4,000, which is where I want to be. Some of us might choose to be at 2,000. So then you could get the CoQ10 on your own. Again, vitamin D is going to be harmless, non-toxic, not problematic at levels less than 10,000 IU daily. Many people recommend even higher than that, not what I recommend. I say most people should find themselves between 1,000 and 5,000 IU of vitamin D3, unless your doctor tells you to take more. So you can use that, the 1,000 or 2,000 option, or the 0 option on CoQ10 here to get the proper level of vitamin D3. I really think, as much as I say 1,000 is sort of the minimum threshold, I really like to see us to be around 2,000 IU, and higher only if your blood test results, as mine have, indicated I should take a little bit more. So hopefully that answered those questions. Is the CoQ10 safe for dogs? Absolutely. My dog, Link, even Marcel, what I do is when I'm taking a capsule of CoQ10, one of those capsules I take every day, when I'm feeding the dogs, I open up that capsule at one of their meals, and I sprinkle about 1/4 of a capsule in their food. So they get basically about 50 milligrams of CoQ10. And I started doing that with Lincoln a while back because he had issues with his gums. He's 10 plus years old. That's not unusual in dogs as they get older. And CoQ10 is one of those nutrients that one of its most important roles is supporting the health of our gums, the health of the gums in our mouth, which is critical, obviously, for oral health and dental health. So in so doing, I just noticed a tremendous difference in Lincoln's health. And so it's something that absolutely is safe for dogs. You could, of course, speak to your veterinarian, but CoQ10, just like with us, CoQ10 is essential for energy production. It's also a protective antioxidant that affects all dogs. So it's something that obviously you can do, and especially a lot of, like my sister's dogs, a lot of dogs have, especially inbred dogs, she has Cavalier Spaniels. A lot of them have, the inbred dogs have just issues, cardiac issues or things like that are something that are part of the breed as they get older in many of the dogs. So CoQ10 really does support heart health. So it's one of those things, again, speak to your veterinarian, but absolutely no problem. What is the shelf life of this CoQ10? This CoQ10 ubiquinone is incredibly stable. Absolutely no problem with a 3-year shelf life. That's already been validated. So not a problem with 3 years, doesn't need to be refrigerated. Christine Culver asked, if I buy the 600 caps, will they stay fresh in the container or should I transfer them to something else? They'll stay fresh in the container. Our containers are made of recycled plastic, but it's high density polyethylene. That high density polyethylene is an incredible barrier against moisture, oxygen, so that container is a great container, so you don't have to worry about having to transfer it to something else. So hopefully that answered a whole bunch of questions.
Absolutely.
But we try to think of everything. We're both environmentally responsible in terms of the product, in terms of recycled plastic, in terms of we make this product, and all of my products are made with solar energy. I don't think there's another company in the world that all of the energy they require, and we have hundreds of thousands of square feet of warehouse, office, production space, all of that is entirely solar powered. It's not a question of believing in climate change or not. We now know that climate change exists. There's no escaping it. It does exist. People might attribute whatever the cause might be, but again, as human beings, we should not add our contribution to that climate change. So we have always been environmentally responsible. It's the same thing as being responsible to you. So not only do we not have a hand in polluting the environment, we don't have a hand in polluting you. All of my products are pure, 100% pure and additive free. Many of us think more about the well-being of our animals than we do about us. So even if you give this to your dog, know that it's 100% pure. The only thing you're giving your dog are the nutrients that you want to provide. Similarly, the only thing you're giving yourself is the purity. We don't use additives. So all of those other companies that use additives, that's just another ingredient that had to be manufactured and that your body has to process.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of lots of energy.
There's Lincoln Marcel. So Marcel now has a much closer cut.
Does he? He got a haircut?
When he's a little bit of a pup, because he's a little over a year old.
Wow.
Lincoln is 10 and a half years old. And they're both just, I mean, and plus my mom is we're getting another one of these guys from my mom. Because my mom's pup, Diva, passed away last year. So we're still trying to figure out a good name for my mom's dog.
Oh.
So it's going to be a little brother, because he's going to be about half the size of Lincoln and Marcel.
Oh.
But so he's going to probably be about 15, 20 pounds, somewhere in there. So that's next Wednesday, we're getting my mama.
love it. Keeping it all in the family.
Yes,
That's
yes.
so sweet.
Very exciting.
I mean, but when you think about Andrew, I mean, obviously, American success story, he leaves behind no carbon footprint. And so he uses the energy of the sun to create these products. And that is really fundamentally what we're talking about, is your energy. I think most of us who don't have that zip, that get up and go, we're doing artificial things, sugary drinks and coffee and, you know, those energy what's it. We're talking about fundamental energy at the cellular level. And that's why it's really hard to ignore this. I don't know about you, but as I get older, I actually have more demands on energy than I even did when I was younger. I've got to remember more passwords and, you know, on and on and on. I think society is moving faster and faster, and we all need that little help, especially as we get into the holidays. But this is something you really shouldn't ignore today. Obviously, you're not, because we wait for this now almost 29,000, over 28,000 spoken for. Most of those orders are in that 600 count size. Now remember, just the value of the B, the D, and the C would cost you more than the price of admission on any one of these sizes,
right.
And you know, all the way down to the 50 count size. But most of us are doing that 600 count size because remember, it's something that obviously you're gonna wanna take every day, and everyone in your family is gonna wanna take it every day. The savings are significant, to say the least. If you just compare what our pricing will go to, that 200 count size is pretty close to what you're spending on that 600 count size today. And I know we keep mentioning it, but just remember, now you always get your B and your C, but today and today only, you're getting the addition of the vitamin D in the 1,000 or 2,000.
You could choose no vitamin D,
right.
1,000 IU of vitamin D, or 2,000 IU vitamin D. And the vitamin D is free.
Right.
So the reason why, previously I used to do a B12 Today special. Previously I used to do a vitamin D Today special. The reason why I don't do them anymore is, and the reason why I never did a vitamin C Today special, is because there was always vitamin C with my CoQ10. They work to recycle one another in your body, so
right.
It makes sense. Plus, your body needs vitamin C to make CoQ10. So it always made sense to have vitamin C with our CoQ10. For the way CoQ10 works in your body, it always makes sense to have B complex and B12. So the reason why I don't do the separate vitamin D Today special, which used to be one of our largest, a separate B12 Today special, one of our largest, is because you're getting them for free in this product. And another question I'm frequently asked, of course, we have B complex and B12 in our multivitamins like Essential 1. So are you getting, frequent question, are you getting too much B12, too much B complex? Absolutely not. First of all, the B complex are very easily processed by our body. B12 is difficult to absorb. Even our unique B12, which is absorbable orally, is still difficult to absorb. What I've also done over the last 30 plus years, we've gradually reduced the B12 and B complex in our products, recognizing that more of you take more of our products. Also, our B complex and B12 is better absorbed. So we've been gradually able, our multivitamin, if you just went back 15 years, 20 years, would have 5 times the level of B complex that it does today. So we've been able to lower those levels, so you could take multiple products of mine with B complex and B12 and absolutely no issues whatsoever in terms of getting too much. So that was a very common question. There are a few others here. How much CoQ10 to take? We have a 100, a 200, a 300. I think 200 is the perfect investment for CoQ10, unless your doctor or your cardiologist, because you're taking certain medications that might lower your levels of CoQ10, has told you specifically might need to take more because of health issues, because of whatever medications you're taking. But 200 milligrams is really the perfect level. Some people choose to take 2 capsules, but you really shouldn't need to take more than 2 capsules of this ever. 1 capsule is really perfect. That's why we've honed in on the 200 milligram supply. Originally, 30 was our original product, then it went to 60, then 90, then 100, and now we have 100, 200, 300. Part of the reason the levels were so low in the past was because we had to really balance the cost, because a 30 milligram supply in the past cost more than 200 milligrams cost today. So today, cost has become a bit of a non-issue on CoQ10 because back in the day, it was 10 times more expensive. Today, it's 1/10 as much. So as we've said before, literally the vitamin C or the vitamin D or the B12 and B complex could justify the purchase, ignoring the CoQ10. So today, you get the perfect level at an affordable price. How much should you be taking if you're taking a statin drug? You could talk to your cardiologist, but the research that I have here talking about statin drugs talks about taking at least 100 up to 500 milligrams daily if you're taking a cholesterol-lowering drug or a drug that influences CoQ10 synthesis in your body. CoQ10 product states that you need to take, BioPerine. This is something interesting. BioPerine is something it's an extract of black pepper. And BioPerine is used with turmeric. BioPerine is used with CoQ10 to enhance their absorption. And yes, BioPerine can enhance their absorption, but BioPerine also affects the absorption of drugs and medicines. So BioPerine is something that I'm not a big fan of. You could enhance the absorption of CoQ10 simply by delivering it with fat, taking it with an omega-3 capsule, taking it with a meal that contains some amount of fat, taking it with my PC lecithin granules or my PC lecithin. That's all you need to enhance the absorption. CoQ10 is fat soluble, lipid soluble. All you need is a little bit of lipid. And CoQ10 is affordable enough that I don't think you need to introduce this irritating pepper extract that also will have an impact on drug absorption. So I tend to, it just is throwing things into the mix that's when you're dealing with a natural product, you shouldn't be including ingredients that potentially will influence your metabolism, your utilization, and your excretion of drugs. That's just, I leave that to our doctors to do that. So if a pharmaceutical company wants to add something like BioPerine to enhance whatever the absorption of their drug, fine. But when we're taking a supplement, I think that has no place in the dietary supplement arena when they're really being planned responsibly. So, and I think it's inappropriate that someone should say the only way to deliver CoQ10 is with BioPerine, because there's science, and I'll show a quote in a moment, that absolutely unequivocally says that BioPerine will and can affect the metabolism of certain drugs. Can you take CoQ10 with B vitamins in it, an essential one? Yes, that was the question I answered before, that the way we formulate our products, it's assuming that you're going to take multiple products that contain the B complex and B12.
Absolutely. That's nice. I like that interaction. That's fun. But you know, you're going to be your best judge, and you're not going to need our usual 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. You actually have that extended holiday return policy until January 31st. Arguably, the more you know, the more you're going to be compelled to take this. I know you saw that clock expire. We're trying to manage our time on this. Certainly, Andrew prepares for this. It's our once a year, one day a year that we wait for. So, of course, we're good with your choices, although I will tell you of the 29, I'm sorry, Steve, I missed that. I was yammering on. Oh, okay. So this is one of those rare opportunities where I'm listening to the voices in my head, which is actually not normally the case. So almost 29,000 spoken for. Most of those are that 600 count size. And remember, the savings are remarkable, to say the least. But not only are we not getting these levels in our diet, but certainly during the holidays, you're probably drinking alcohol or a little stressed or taking medication.
Well, and I'm going to try to go through, we have just some incredible charts on the science, probably over 100 of them. And it talks about everything from the health of our gums to the health of our hearing as we age. Which is fascinating. Some great charts that talk about the cochlea, which the cochlea in our ear is sort of the equivalent of the retina in our eye. That's where, sort of where the rubber meets the road, that's where the visual image is created, the retina of our eye. And similarly, the cochlea, it's where, say, the sounds that are conducted by the small bones in our ear. Actually, the smallest bones in our body are the bones present in our ear, and the smallest named bones, I guess, and then our eardrum. But it all gets transmitted to the cochlea, and the cochlea is where that auditory sort of image, that sound that we hear, is created and then transmitted to the brain. So there's some great science charts that talk about that. As I said before, the gums in our mouth. So CoQ10, because it is central to all energy production isn't just about our heart being able to pump or our liver being able to do the work of cleansing and filtering our blood and removing waste products. Yes, all of that chemical work requires energy, but maintaining those organs over the course of our lifetime in the face of all the work they do, that also requires energy. And as we get older, that's probably the most important energy, not just doing the work, but maintaining the health of those organs to continue doing that work. So we'll talk about that later. I'll read some of the scientific charts, certainly about the heart, our brain, mood, CoQ10, because of the fact that it's central to all energy production and also cellular protection. It's inescapable that it plays a role in how well these organs will perform, not just today, but over the course of our life.
Absolutely. So we see you there. Certainly choose your size of choice. Most of you are getting that 600 count size. All right, we are moving along. This was a late breaking addition to my show, and I'm excited because, well, we were just talking about the good heart health and brain health and eye health, but my doctor actually told me I should be taking this for my mood.
Well, in fact, there was just a very interesting study published that talked about just that. And for decades, I've been seeing the research that talks about basically our mood, how we feel. That if how we feel in terms of mood certainly is a byproduct of how our brain is functioning, it's a byproduct of neurochemistry. So neurochemistry is how our brain works. Our brain, it's hard to believe, but how we think, what we think, our memories, all of those are results of stored chemicals. And how those chemicals are balanced, that's how we feel on a daily basis. So whether we're feeling up or whether we're feeling down, it's all about neurochemistry. So we're going to shift away from neurochemistry for a moment and just talk about the structure of our brain. And when we talk about the structure of our brain, what do they say? 80% of our body is water to begin with. But if we eliminate the water and we just look at the real business molecules in our brain, guess what percentage of our brain are omega-3 fatty acids, typically phospholipids, but the omega-3 lipids, guess what percent? It's about 2/3.
Oh, no kidding.
So, and not 2/3 EPA and DHA. The typical omega-3 product is mostly EPA. It's 2/3 DHA, almost exclusively DHA, which knowing that, that's the reason why my omega-3s have always focused on DHA. Since the beginning of time, well, that's how long I've been making vitamins at the beginning of time. For over 3 decades, we focus on DHA, and back then it was very hard to focus on DHA. It required custom blends, which we still have custom blends of our fish oil, because most fish oil is mostly EPA, and that's probably 90+% of fish oil is mostly EPA, plus most fish oil is ethyl esters, not natural triglycerides. So ours is the natural, biologically active form of an omega-3, and most importantly, ours are not going to upset your stomach. They're not going to have a fishy aftertaste. But ours are faithful, as I always say, it's Mother Nature's, it's this God-given blueprint that if you want to take advantage of the science of omega-3, you need to follow the blueprint. I mean, you can't make an omega-3 in a synthetic form. And certainly, even in a synthetic form, they're so important, they're so critical. There's still going to be benefits. But if you want the real benefits in terms of absorption and activity in your body, you want to deliver it in the natural form that your body has been designed to utilize, and that's what we do.
Absolutely. So all you do is pick your size of choice. So we have the 30 count, the 60 count, the 180, and the 360. So basically, we're pretty much at today's special pricing. This is our special anniversary pricing. Remember, it has our extended holiday return policy. Wow, those are big savings. As I said, those are pretty much today's special pricing. So on the 180 count and the 360 count, you're looking at flex pay, 2-pay flex pay on the 180 count respectively, and then 3-pay flex pay on that 360 count. So you're looking at $14.90, $24.90, $59.90, and $99.90 for the world's best omegas. And I can tell you that because for a customer pick on omegas, a 4.7 star average out of 3,339 reviews on a fish oil product, that does not happen, my friends.
No, I mean, that's another product that's well over 90% positive reviews. It's a product that as we improve this formula over the decades, and what omega-3, the reviews keep getting better and better. It was a few years ago, it was averaging 4.5.
Yeah.
So that means to get up to 4.7, pretty much all we're getting are 5-star reviews. And what's great about our omega-3, it's a perfect product to take with CoQ10. If you want to ensure maximum absorption of CoQ10, you want to take it with some fat. There's no better fat to consume it with than the high DHA EPA omega-3 fish oil that we use. Of course, lots of articles written lately about being irresponsible fishing and things like that of the omega-3 industry. I wish the omega-3 industry in terms of supplement was so large it actually affects our fisheries, but it really doesn't. Most of the fishing out there, most of the omega-3s come from fishing that's done for animal feed and the like, for fertilizer animal feed. So the omega-3 is just supplements are a way to sort of utilize those raw materials to create fish oil that we enjoy. On the other hand, krill oil. Krill oil, like that other form of CoQ10, ubiquinol, that's too expensive for what it delivers, krill oil is too expensive also for what it delivers. And also, because krill is really the central food supply for so many of us, so many of our endangered marine mammals. And krill isn't the principal scientific focus of omega-3 research. As far as I'm concerned, krill is something that doesn't really need to be consumed or sold. The levels of astaxanthin found in krill, which is another way they promote it, are relatively insignificant, and they're more environmentally responsible ways to get krill, to get astaxanthin anyhow. So I see little to no reason whatsoever to contemplate consuming krill oil, and that's another product where eventually, as our inventory dwindles, we're eventually going to allow that to go away. It's just, I view it as being irresponsible. Speaking
of inventory, and I apologize to interrupt, Andrew, but I'll defer to you.
Yes.
Do you have the ability to put more in, or because you're in the hundreds
really?
On all of the choices?
That's unexpected.
I know.
Because we're back next weekend.
I'm the voice of doom.
No, so it's probably not doom. We make everything.
Right. I know you do.
So these are a little bit more complicated to make because we not only have to fill the capsules, but we patiently dry the capsules. Because you use the soft gel, you fill the soft gel, and then that soft gel has to dry, and we don't like to hurry the drying because that exposes it to too much heat, which affects potency. So it's a patient process to make these. But that being said, I'm pretty confident we shouldn't have any issues.
Okay.
I'm not concerned.
Okay, sounds good.
So don't worry, we'll have plenty.
See, I defer to the man.
As they say, what do they say, from my lips to God's ears?
There you go.
So hopefully someone's paying attention.
Exactly.
But hopefully it ProCaps. But I'm sure
Yeah,
we'll find.
really.
This is such an important and such a popular product that I'm sure we're not going to allow it to run out during this visit.
But I will say this savings is only, for the anniversry. So this is basically,
and
that's like a today's special. It is.
It's better than our original Today Special on this product 20 plus years ago. But it's our Today Special, which is about, 7 months away.
Right.
So if you're taking 1 or 2 capsules, the 360 will, and 180 or 360, depending on how much you take, will last you until the Today Special.
That's what I need, because the 360 count size, it's $60 off at $99.90. But
I take 2 a day.
Okay.
It's perfect at 1 a day, because at 1 per day, you're 500 milligrams of omega-3s. So 1 or 2 per day is all you need. The only time you take 3, you don't need to, is if your cardiologist, your doctor, your orthopedist told you should do so. But this was specifically designed to be a 1 or 2 capsule dosage for virtually everyone, to keep it affordable. And again, what's unique about our product here, I'll just put these capsules, I'll put them right there. There's a little capsule there, and let's see if I can get them to sit still, those capsules. And those big capsules.
Wow.
Those other capsules that are almost twice the size, those capsules deliver less omega-3 than mine. So my capsules, which are this pretty clear golden color, as you can see in the bowl over there, my capsule delivers about 50% more omega-3 per capsule, so around 50% more. Theirs in the 300s, we're at 500. Theirs focus about 60% to 2/3 EPA. Mine flips it. We deliver mostly DHA, the more important DHA. The DHA that is basically our brain, defines our brain, defines the retina of our eye. And again, the lutein and zeaxanthin that are the protective optical pigments in our eye that deliver vision, they are swimming in DHA, the DHA that we focus on in this product. So you get in a capsule that's probably at least 1/3 less in size, maybe 40% less in size, you're getting 50% more of the omega-3 you want in a form that never causes stomach upset, that never has a fishy repeat. That's just the omega-3. If you were going to do it yourself, this is what it would look like.
By the way, the beauty benefits aren't bad either. So,
well, that's, and I've talked about this, that if you read the reviews about heart health and brain health, the reviews on hsn.com, but there's a tremendous amount of reviews talking about the radiance of skin, the luster of hair. That's the omega-3. Those are the omega-3s we want our body to have available for those tissues.
Absolutely. They're telling me to walk.
Okay, walk.
So,
Let's go.
You know, it's like, Silly
We'll
walking.
sprint over.
Silly walking.
I haven't run yet today.
Oh, really?
That's
Okay.
this afternoon.
By the way,
I might see you at the gym this afternoon,
I might
hopefully.
go again. I went there earlier.
Well, all summer, I have not, it's funny, I was just saying this, I weigh the least I've weighed in probably 25, 30 years, because this summer I was really doing my best to do endurance things, to be out on trails, running, biking, hiking, things like that, and I stayed out of the gym. So I haven't been in the gym for months. So yesterday was the first time I went in the gym. I still was exercising every day, but I wasn't going to the gym and lifting weights. And as we get older, we all tend to lose our muscle mass, and I lost a fair amount of muscle mass, but it's something, it's fun to mix it up, to let our body rest as long as we have to maintain our muscle mass as we get older, our flexibility as we get older, and our cardiovascular, our aerobic capacity, our circulation.